This video is brought to you by the good folks at KEH. Not only is KEH the oldest and biggest at what they do, buying and selling exclusively used camera gear of all sorts since 1979, but they do it well, with integrity and both a 180-day warranty and 21-day return policy, free shipping on transactions over $49. Which is why, because they make it as futz-free a process as possible, they are our go-to whenever we are looking to fund new purchases by selling our own gear or buying that special used piece of kit properly graded and checked when we want to go quirky or old school. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. This is a full-frame manual focus 250mm telephoto lens introduced by Minolta in 1979. At just 250 grams, it is dramatically lighter and smaller than most of today's 50mm autofocusing primes. Think Panasonic's 51.8 or 1.4, Nikon's Nikkor Z 51.8 or 1.2, Sigma's 50mm f1.4 DG DN Art, or Sony's 1.4 G Master, just to name a few. Never mind a 70-200 2.8 or even f4 zooms. It is the kind of lens that plugs a gaping hole in every manufacturer's lens catalog in 2023. That is a small, crispy, accessibly priced 200mm or so prime, no chunky 70-200 zooms need apply. What I learned over just a few minutes with Minolta's bordering on legendary RF Rokkor-X 250mm f5.6, KEH has a few for sale as of this recording at a touch over $1,000. I'll put a link to their page in the show notes below. Is that even without the advances in material science, coatings, and computer-aided manufacturing of the last half-century, it is clearly an extraordinary street photography tool, adapted to our Sony A7R5, still allowing me to capture images, tweet and post, to be fair, like this. Holy crap, really nice on their own, but can you imagine what a modern incarnation of this lens could render? I can. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and I've already cut to the chase, right? This is exactly the kind of focal length and form factor that had been missing from my lens catalog until very recently. I didn't even know it existed. And now that I've had a taste of it, I want an even better 21st century version of it to match my particular workflow, which is to say, with autofocus and with the image quality of my other modern primes. Because revelatory and okay, fine, characterful, one of the few times I accept that word, that concept as it is, this tiny Minolta lens is not the sharpest or contrastiest tool in the shed, and neither are my eyes. But yes, contrastiest is not a real word. I know that, but you get my point. Put into use case terms, A, as many of you already know, I am first and foremost a street photographer. B, I'm a primes kind of guy because I want to keep the camera lens combo in my hand as small, light, unobtrusive, and as uber performant as possible on the street. And C, I prefer to use sensor resolution and cropping in post rather than carrying more glass to fill the field of view gaps between the primes I do have and carry. Now, some of us might argue that this makes no sense, that just 3 primes weigh more, cost more, and are more unwieldy than a pair of arguably the best holy trinity zooms out there. Think Sony 24 1.4, 51.4, and 135 1.8 G Masters, for example, versus Sony 24-70 and 70-200 2.8 G Master Mark IIs. Certainly, there is some validity to those assertions. The G Master Mark II zoom kit would be about 9% lighter than the G Master Prime kit, 1,740 grams to be precise versus 1,911. And it is incontrovertible that working with a pair of zooms would be much faster than primes, switching fields of view while covering live events of any kind, from weddings to sports to photojournalism. But the G Master primes would still cost a few $100s less, $4,800 versus $5,100. Any one of them on your camera would be between 24 and 47% lighter, and they'd all be between 1 and 2 stops faster. Swap out the 135 1.8 G Master for Sony's 85 1.8 G. Terrific lens. And the numbers look better, but swap out all of the G Master primes for Sony's G primes, 24 2.8, 52.5, and again the 85 1.8. Now we're talking $1,800 for all three versus $2,300 for the 24 to 70. That's a 22% savings. All is faster than the 24 to 70 G Master 2, up to just more than one full stop. And the weight of any one of these primes would be 47 to 74% lighter around your neck or over your shoulder. Then again, we do use zooms for most of our video work because cropping 4K video can result in severe image degradation versus the practically zero impact of cropping stills from a 40, 45, 47, 50, or 60 megapixel capture. And while I've used Sony as the example here, it is no less true for Nikon or Panasonic. Canon, Fujifilm, or Leica? Not so much. I'll wrap it up this way. I really enjoyed using the Minolta RF Rokkor-X 250mm. I suspect I will begin packing it in my bag more often along with the appropriate adapter. I have two already. It saves me significant cost and weight over the superb Sony 70 to 200mm f2.8, which I've been eyeing recently. Hold that thought for an upcoming review. But the Rokkor doesn't offer nearly the image quality, nor anywhere near the probability of getting the shot, let alone getting it in focus, that the G Master Mark II can. For that, I'd need an autofocusing cat with the latest design, materials, and lens coatings, although I don't know how good that could be compared to ordinary refractory optics. Although, fair enough, Tamron's 28 to 200, 3.5 to 5.6 gives me a sense of what an even more ambitiously designed and narrowly conceived refractory telephoto prime of a similar field of view might be. Which, in the end, aside from chromatic aberration in the Tamron, is the kind of lens that is a refracted telephoto prime that I'd probably prefer because, first, it doesn't require new competencies, merely new priorities. Second, changing priorities is a faster way to market with a higher probability of the kind of image quality that rocks my boat than developing new competencies, Tokina's SZ line notwithstanding. And third, just to circle back to that notion of catadioptric character, I actually don't really like the donut-style bokeh that is endemic to catadioptric lenses. I find it distracting. Most of the time, anyway. Then again, maybe, just maybe, since manufacturers have already figured out how to correct for distortion, vignetting, and to a lesser extent, chromatic aberration in software via lens profiles. Wouldn't it be something if they could extend those kinds of profiles to turn bokeh donuts into bokeh balls? Which is both novel and a fair bit of clever, I think. Add that to the set of today's best autofocusing primes, say at 20 or 24, 35 or 50, and an 85 or 90, and with just 4 lenses and a high-resolution sensor, you've covered all your bases up to 200 millimeters that will be faster, sharper, and lighter in hand than your classic 2-pack of Holy Trinity zooms. In the meantime, while we wait for the industry to get there one way or another, this tiny, all-mechanical, and beautiful actually, Minolta RF Rokkor-X 250mm f5.6 is one cool cat, an incredible tool within its limitations, for street and travel, one of the very few vintage lenses I find it easy to recommend, character and all. A big shout out to KEH for sponsoring this video, a great resource for finding just this kind of gear. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join the conversation in the comment section below because this is an exceptional audience. If you'd like help with a portfolio review, gear selection, finding or honing your artistic voice, sign up for a one-on-one mentoring video called via Zoom at 3bmep.com/booking. Finally, please consider supporting our work by using the no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, sending us coffee money via PayPal, or most especially, joining us on Patreon, links down below as well. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for it.